Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, if you want to know about ABS units, watch that video. Right, so am I a glutton for punishment? Oh yes I am. Do you know what that is? That's another universal motorcycle clutch cable kit. And the reason for this is, and if you're not up to date with the whole saga, I would suggest watching the videos in the description first to get up to speed. But long short, I wanted to know how long a universal clutch cable kit would last, and the answer is about 180 miles. Now when I fitted it, because it was done in my garage, I wanted to do it a slightly different way to see if it would last longer, but I couldn't do that obviously because I wanted to do it like I was doing it at the side of the road. So I only used what they supplied. And the answer to the question is 180 odd miles, it failed. And the way that it failed, some people asked, was that the universal sort of drum that you clamp on the end using a bolt pulled off. And that was exactly what I thought would happen, because I thought the cable's going to flatten out, it's going to allow it to worm its way through underneath that bolt over time, and it's just going to pull out, which is exactly what it did. I have an idea that may or may not work, that might solve that and make it last longer. And yes, I want to know if this is going to work or not, so I'm going to do it. So the kit I bought is off Amazon, it was about £5. It's one of the cheapest ones on there, but it is actually identical in every single way, going by the parts supplied, to the one I used before. And I'm going to guess the end of the cable's the same as well. You get a throttle cable and a clutch cable, because they're different thicknesses. The end is identical, it's the same kit. So, I know how long I need this cable to be, which was a bit of a pain before, so that's good. So I can mark this up with where I need to cut it and where I want to do my mod. Where's my pen? Right, so I need to cut it there. So I don't need to faff around this time, I know exactly how long I need it to be. Let's get this in the bike. If you didn't see the first video of me doing this, you should watch it, it was quite entertaining. Right, that's through there. I've got my plastic tube. It belongs in the first bit of the clutch, and then we're going to have to hope, from what we learnt last time, how to get this through. Okay, so I put a slight bend in the end of it last time. Yep, that works. Then it's going to get stuck at the adjuster. And then I did some twisting and some spinning. And I got it to go through last time. Come on. Yep. God, it really is a knack thing. Oh, yeah, it's just going back down. There you go. Alright. Okay. So that was easy. Now I know a lot of you are going to say, Spicy, you're smart enough, why are you not going and buying a new clutch cable? As I've mentioned before, I'm doing a series on this bike this winter. Part of that is going to be doing the clutch cable. I don't want to do it out of order, but I do like this bike being in use. So I'm doing this as an experiment because I can. So you don't have to. That's how people normally excuse doing dumb stuff, right? Because I'm doing it for you. Doing it for you, man. Like and subscribe, I'm doing it for you. So if you're wondering if I'm using some sort of specialist solder or flux or anything, no, I'm using standard electrical solder and a soldering iron. I think this should work. I'm going to, as I say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt solder into this cable. I'm going to put it into the end barrel. I'm going to clamp that down, and then I'm going to fill the inside of it with, again, solder. So once it's all solidified, it shouldn't be able to pull through, ever. I mean, do remember that proper clutch cable ends are just a blob of tin and lead anyway. I imagine there's some tin in there to make it a lot harder because lead would pull through. Plus, you know, lead. Right. So I really need to heat this cable up. It's working! It's tinning! Or the equivalent of tinning. So if I heat it from underneath, I can feed solder all throughout. Get rid of the excess. Okay. Okay, so hopefully these will get through this. They're rather small snips. Ooh! Just nearly lost the end. Come back. Thank you. Where I've cut through the solder, it's kind of out of round. There we go, back to round. So this is just a little barrel with a bolt in it, and then we put this through and then clamp it down. So if we put that through there, and it's important to not have any cables sticking out the other side. I'm not going to mess around trying to use the screw head on it like I did last time. I'm just going to use a pair of pliers. That's on there extremely tightly, and then I have a nice hole in the top. I can get some more of my solder. Obviously, I do not advise you do this. This is very much an experiment. I should have heated that all up more first. Now the problem is, because the barrel's very cold, it's going to try and sink all the heat out. So I'm trying to heat the barrel up and get this solder to actually fall in itself. I think it goes without saying that you're not supposed to do this, and I don't suggest you do this. I'm doing it as an experiment. Don't do as I do. Of course, now that's roastingly hot. Perfect. Given that it only takes a couple of 100 degrees to melt solder, and a lighter flame is around 900, I think, if you were to heat the whole thing up with a lighter and then just poke some solder in at the side of the road, I think that'd work. Whether the whole idea at all is going to work is another thing. And if you're not, and if you want to know what happens when the clutch cable did go, how did I get home? Well, you can watch that video. It'll also be linked below. But it's called How to Ride Without a Clutch Cable, to give you a hint. Okay. Okay, so I can now hold that comfortably, so it's time to fit it. Now, I don't want to take the side of the bike off for this, so I'm going to make it work. Yeah. I'm just going to undo the lever. If I could not lose the nut, that would be absolutely great. There we go. I didn't think about lubricating the cable before I put it in, and now it's in. Yeah, so I've sprayed a bit top and bottom, and that's loosened it up a bit. So now I have a functioning clutch again. It's releasing properly. It feels good. It's not too loose. In fact, I can loosen that a little bit. I can loosen that a little bit more. In theory, I don't think this can break off in the same way the other one did. But what do you think? Because as I say, what happened before was the cable, which was round, was able to flatten out over time and then pull through like this. Well, now it's a solid piece of steel with the solder in it, so that's been squished like this. And then the ends of these cables are all melded in with more solder inside the end of the, the barrel, which can't pull through. I think it's going to be a good fix. Well, there you go, there's my next instalment in clutch cable experiments, because why not? And if you enjoyed this video, or you're looking forward to the video of me riding home again when this clutch cable snaps, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new here, and if you want to help support this channel, then please consider doing that through Patreon, links in the description. I am finding out answers for everyone that no one wanted to know but me, so it's for me. But if you enjoyed it,